Hey everybody, welcome to Trending Thursday. My name is Glenn Tompkins, Senior Instructor here at VectorVest. Glad to have you here. Glad that you're here. If you can hear us loud and clear, please respond in the affirmative, preferably with VV Nation, and let me know where you're tuning in from. My YouTube, my Facebook didn't work. What the flying flip, Joey? I'm trying to get the chat on Facebook. I got there it is. I got it. Oh, I'm so excited. I just can't hide it. I'm about to lose control. I think I like it. All right, so I got the chat on Facebook. I got the chat on YouTube. My Facebook people are already chiming in with hearts and thumbs. And then my YouTube, man, it's a lot of freaking things. It's either YouTube or Facebook or TikTok or something. Anyway, hi everybody. Glad to be here. Glad to have you here. I got a special guest today. He's going to come up in a second, which I think is going to talk a lot about what's going on in the current market conditions and how you can still at least do something to protect your portfolios right now. So for the first time in a while, I'm going to, tell you a little bit about me. I'm a senior instructor here at VectorVest, work in the education department. I've been with VectorVest now for 18 years. I love being able to talk to you guys, whether it's on the people who are subscribers to the software in Color Guard or the Jockey Club, and then here on YouTube to you guys as well. You guys have been an amazing support for the YouTube channel, growing our YouTube channel. You guys on Facebook, thank you guys for being here as well. Robert is checking in from Troutman. Robert, you and I happen to be neighbors because I live in Mooresville. So we're not too far from each other. So as I can see, I got people chiming in from all over the globe to include Israel, and then within the United States, Texas, Florida, Arizona, Southern California. And Asif says it will be Jim Penna. Asif, stop giving stuff away. How about that? Don't make me turn this live stream around. All right? All right. But actually, it is going to be Jim Penna. He's going to give some insights, and he's going to talk about what you can do right now to help yourselves, even right now. And right now, folks, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is a freaking tough market. And a lot of you out there is probably saying the same things, that it is a tough market. Totally understand. But here at VectorVest, we had our subscribers ready for this before it happened. We've kept our subscribers on the right side of the market. I tell you about being able to take advantage of a 99-cent trial for 30 days to get this kind of information. But real quick, let's talk about what's going on in the market. What's going on in the market is going down. Okay. Inflation number came out yesterday. More inflation number came out from the producer side today. Everything is pointing to inflation being very high and affecting the market. Well, affecting the economy, of course, but in turn affecting the market and affecting the stocks in our market. I just put out a video a couple of days ago, says don't panic, just focus. And again, as a subscriber to the VectorVest software, we had you on the right side of the market prior to this. We had you out of the market since April. All right, since April, the beginning of April, towards the beginning, middle of April. And if any of you are saying, yeah, that's hindsight. Yeah, you say, go look at our data. Go look at our data. Go look at the guidance that we give. And you'll see that what I'm saying is not off the cuff, that it's not just made up to accommodate what's going on in the market right now. We have nightly guidance that walks you through exactly what has been going on and how we kept our customers on the right side of the market. All right, so Zulfikar says, guide us, please, to secure our portfolio. And again, Jim Penn is going to do a really good job of that. So normally we go right into the market overview. We'll still do that, but I'm going to bring Jim on right now. And Jim is going to give a little bit more insight of what's going on in the market, but he's also going to talk about what Zulfikar just asked me. Guide us, please, on how to secure our portfolio. So, Jim, let them know who you are, what you do, and excuse me, in essence, how you can help people right now, help to at least secure some of their portfolio.
That's great. Thanks, Glenn. Thanks for having me on, and hello to everyone. I hope everyone's staying safe and healthy. Thanks for taking the time. And yeah, just to start looking at the market on my other screen here, I'm looking at, and I see Glenn's up here as well, but it's a little blurry to me. Yeah, we're looking at, at the market, and Glenn is right. Uh, you know, the great thing about VectorVest and looking back, everything's time stamped. Everything is saved. You can go back to anywhere, look at a market timing graph, watch our daily color guard reports, read the Friday views, and we have the color guard, and our views have should have kept you certainly on the right side of the market in the big picture here. A couple of things I've been commenting on, Glenn, real quick, just in the current market and what we're seeing here, um, is is the one thing that keeps coming to my mind is that, and I get a lot of questions and emails on it. The buy sell ratio is down at 0.05. The MTI is at 0.35, right? Historically in the VectorVest program, we know that the market is oversold and looking for a bottom.
Key word there.
Yeah, right. And just because it hits, right, historically 0.2 on the buy sell ratio, 0.60 on the MTI, historically tells us we're in an oversold market and that it's looking for a bottom. But Glenn's right, that's the key word. The thing that's been coming to my mind, first of all, is what you have to remember, especially given the reasons, the macro and the geopolitical reasons for what's going on, that an oversold market can continue to go down, right? You just have to unfortunately grasp that concept. And as I'm looking at what the market's doing right now, it's just proof of what I'm saying. An oversold market can still go down, right? And so be careful is really all I'm saying. Um, and Glenn's right. And to the question was, help guide you here. Moving forward, listen, it becomes more difficult if you haven't been on the right side of the market, given where our indicators have been showing us. I go back all the way to November of 2021 when we got that confirmed down. I forget exactly what day it was,
It
April
was the 21st or the
20,
22nd.
yeah, 21st or 22nd of April and November of, I'm sorry, did I say April? I meant
Yeah, you did.
November. I'm sorry. I meant November of 21. I apologize. And then we did get kind of whipsawed on a quick confirmed up call. And so for the more prudent investor who was waiting for the confirmed up, yes, we did get whipsawed a bit, but even then, the risk management techniques should have mitigated a lot of what happened since that that quick confirmed up went to the downside. So that's my take on it. Be careful. An oversold market can still go down. I did a special presentation. I don't even know how long ago now, probably a year. I don't know when I did it, but it was called FOMO, right? Uh, the fear of missing out. We don't want to get caught up in that. So if we see a day of a rally or 2 days of a rally, right, that's more episodic than it is trending, we want to be careful not to get caught up in that until there's that confirmation that the market has found a bottom. And as Glenn and I always go back and forth, as Dr. D said, how do you know when the market's bottomed? When it's found the bottom and has started to go back up, right? Glenn, did I leave anything out on that? I always
No,
leave us, yeah, right. When it starts to go back up is when we know it's found a bottom. So back to the point of how you can protect or help to protect yourself now, even where the market is now. Glenn, is it okay if I talk about the presentation I'm doing
bring it
next week?
on.
Can I share that?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
thanks for putting it up there. So what Glenn has been kind enough to give me some time today is one of the ways to help you guide yourself through this. We believe one way of many is the covered call. So next week on those dates that show on the screen that Glenn just brought up, next Wednesday at both noon and then 6 p.m. and on Thursday at 4:30 p.m., I'm going to do a presentation on the covered call. And it's a pretty timely thing right now, the covered call. There's so many great uses for it. It really is, from an income generating standpoint, probably the easiest and the most popular income generating trade out there. There are many great option trades, but it's probably the easiest one. It also, in this type of market, is great as a defensive measure, right? Because every time you sell a covered call, you're taking in money and you are lowering the cost basis and thereby your break even of that underlying stock. So it can be helpful that way. And then, not to go into detail, but to take it even another step further, you could be part of what's called the collar trade. You sell a covered call, you take that cash and you buy yourself a protective put. But those are just a handful of the ways that a covered call can help you. Now, even if you're brand new to covered calls, and my guess is I'm sure there are some folks in the room who maybe have never done them. Um, the greatest definition of a covered call that I use, and I stole it from a gentleman named Lee Lowell, who was an option trader in the pits. He wrote a great book, but it was the greatest, most straightforward, logical definition of a covered call, and I use it to this day. It's been years I've been using it, and that is that you have to understand there are investors and traders out there who will pay you money today to take your stock away at a higher price at a later date, right? That's what a covered call. So when you sell a call option, right, you're getting paid, but you take on obligations, and that is to provide that underlying stock at a certain price by a certain date. Now, if you don't own the underlying stock, it's a very risky trade. But if you do, it becomes a much more prudent and a much greater way to generate income in your portfolio. So if you're not familiar with covered calls or options at all, in the presentation I'll do next Wednesday and Thursday, we're going to go through that because covered calls can lower your risk, and that's why it's a very timely trade right now. It's a great trade, I believe, in any market condition. Just depends on your outlook. But as a defensive measure in this particular market, it's very helpful. We're going to talk about how to correctly set up the covered call. Again, we're going to also talk about what's called the buy right. When you buy a stock that you don't already own and simultaneously sell the stock. I'm sorry, sell the call option, right? Again, to generate income. And we're going to go through actual examples as the screen says there. And show you exactly the process that we use for covered calls. So I'm looking forward to it. It's a great tool to have in your toolbox, again, really in any market condition, but certainly here, given what's going on, as a protective measure. So Glenn, I don't know if the link is up there, or we'll put it up there for everyone.
The link is Joey put it in there already.
Okay, great. Yeah, I don't see that part. So yeah, it's sign up, join me for take about an hour. We'll talk about the power of covered calls, and as the title of the presentation is, what it is and how to trade it.
And Asif asks a question: if someone buys my call today, how will that benefit? Understand, Asif, if you're selling the covered call, you taking the money for it. In order for them to want to buy that call, the stock has got to go higher than the strike that you sold. If the market or the stock is going down, the chances are the stock's price is not going to reach the price level of the call you sold. Thus, you keep the premium that you sold that call for. Jim?
Yeah, that's correct. And if I understood the question, why would someone else buy the call in this type of market, if that was the intent of the question? Listen, there's a ton of reasons and different strategies that might have people buying calls. And remember, an option is a security and it trades just like a stock, right? There's a bid price, ask price. There are market makers who are tasked with providing a fair and orderly market. So when we say, I'm selling it or buying it from, person A or person B, remember, you're still going through a market maker. And part of the process is to find options that have liquidity. So, and just to finish up on that, yes, we're selling the call. We're selling someone else the right to take away our stock at a higher price. They're paying us. As soon as they pay us, that money goes in our pocket, right? And we're collecting income and we're lowering the cost basis for that position that we hold. Okay, so there's a lot of reasons to sell covered call, and generating a safe, steady income is one of the major ones.
And that's the biggest part about doing that at this time, especially if it's a stock that you own, that you're trying to hold long term. And the selling of the cover call helps to absorb at least a little bit, if its stock's price is going down, at least a little bit of the price declination declining. I just maybe added my, who cares? You
You just
understand.
you're right, and that's the point. It is right. So there are just like any trade, right? Like any trade, certainly any options trade, there are rationales and objectives behind it. So the buy right, right, which is not really perfect for this current market condition because it is a bullish trade, right? Because I'm buying a stock and selling a call
Right.
simultaneously, right? It's a great trade, but here, right, again, then this is the power of options in general and the covered call specifically. If I own whatever stock, I'm looking at my screen to just try to get a price of, I
Apple.
don't know,
Let's say we
yeah,
own Apple.
yeah. If you own Apple, it's trading. Wow, it's all the way down to 140.
Yeah, stop that part of it.
Right. So, if you own the stock and you don't feel like selling it for whatever reason, I don't want to go into all that, but right, I can go out and sell a 145 or a 150 call right now and take in a premium and lower my cost basis and get me through this difficult time in the market. Is it going to mitigate every penny that the stock has gone down, maybe from where you own it? No. But it helps to mitigate, and it helps to put income on top of the nice dividend that Apple pays.
There
So
you
there,
go.
there's a lot of reasons to do it. We're going to talk all about it again in Wednesday's session. So if you go to that link, right, noon, 1600 hours, and 1630 hours on Thursday, to put it in Glenn's terms. Uh, there's some good information, I think, there for you.
Excellent. So that's where it comes into helping to protect your portfolio, and there's a lot of you who have good long-term positions that you don't want to get rid of. It's not doing a buy right; it's selling a covered call against the stock that you already own.
Right.
All
And
right,
and there and again, there are two clear objectives, just to be clear. In this current market, one of them is certainly much more of a defensive measure.
absolutely.
But when those green lights do start coming back, whenever that is, understanding the buy right for income generation is key, especially if you're looking to fill, when we talk about our retirement course and the three core strategies, and one of the most important ones, I believe, aside from capital preservation, is generating that safe, steady income as you approach or as you enter retirement. So it's a trade for any market environment, and if you're not familiar with or don't feel comfortable trading covered calls, join me Wednesday. I'll help with that.
There you go. Thank you for that, Jim. So
My
that was
pleasure,
my
Glenn.
special guest. I do thank you. Joey has put the link to the webcasts for next week, both in YouTube and Facebook. It's free. It is totally free. You go see him. You go talk to him. He's really good at answering questions too, as long as they're good questions. If you ask bad questions, hell, you ask bad questions here. I tell you, ask bad questions here. But if you ask bad questions, he's going to be like, dude, why are you asking that question? But it's more of a conversation. It's more of an education. And I think that most people are afraid of options because of all of the stories that they've heard, or even them playing options the wrong way themselves. Let Jim walk you through how you can do a lot more than you are possibly doing right now to protect your portfolio. Is it going to be the saving grace that just goes, woo, I'm good to go? No, but it will help to absorb some of the sting that you guys are going through right now. And I think you will not be disappointed. The link is in the chat. Click the link, sign up for it. It's free. Pick the day and the time you want, and that'll be it. Alex says, kept buying puts and cashing out and getting other puts. Thanks, Glenn. Hey, there's a lot of things you can do with options, but that's not even, the buying the put side is another whole scenario. But for the time being, with the stocks that you own, the selling of the covered calls may be a great way to help to protect your portfolio. And at the right time, doing the buy right is a great way to generate income. So it can be used for either or. All right. For everybody who at least clicked on the link, just type a one in the room if you clicked on the link. Just want to see how many of you at least clicked on the link to sign up for Jim's webcast, one of them, whichever one. Whether you're on Facebook or whether you're on YouTube, just tell me how many of you. It's free. Ain't nobody asking you for no money. Ain't nobody asking to sign up your kids to go to. It's free. It's free, and you may learn something. And especially if you're scared about what's going on in your portfolio, folks, this is something that's going to help you. So again, Jim, going to give you a hand clap for that too. Thank you so much for being here. And guess what? I believe he's going to be again here on Midday Market on Monday. All right, at 12 o'clock. All right, so the link, Michael, Joey is pinned. Michael, it's pinned to the top of the chat. All right. Kirby says, Glenn, I'm faxing you. I can't click. Sigh. Kirby, now you're showing your age. Now you're showing your age. All right. With that, all right. So let's get into what we get into. The market's going down. See that? It's going down, and that's that. And there's not a whole bunch I can say about that. And I try. Somebody sent me an email and said, even on the worst days, you help to bring us hope. I ain't got a lot of hope. Right now, the hope is not there. Right now, the market's going down. There's nothing that I can say to push that away right now. But I will tell you, let's talk about what's in the news. What's in the news pushing the market to these levels. Where am I? There we go. That's not what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. All right, so let's go into my news articles. What's going on? PPI edges lower to 11% on the year in April as energy price surges. I was like, edges lower? So then I looked at the economic calendar, and for the PPI, the last report on the PPI was 9.6. Is that right? No, it was 11.5. It was 11.5, and it came in today at 11. So actually it was lower. But something, it's still high. CPI came in lower than the prior month, but it was still higher. It was still high. So people are saying that, well, maybe that's the silver lining. Okay, it could be, but nonetheless, it's high. So it could be both of them are reporting a little lower than the previous reports, but it ain't helping me at the gas pump. It ain't helping me in the supermarket. It ain't going to help me with my heating and cooling bills over the summer. All of those things it's not helping me with. It's not helping me that I may get a raise at work, but it's not keeping up with inflation. So even though I may be getting a raise, my money is buying less than it did last year. So the silver lining says it's going down on a month-over-month basis. But the reality says it's still high. All right. So inflation being high, affecting the market. Supply sucky, it's affecting the market. And I was hoping that we could get some semblance of a bounce with the data. It's just not happening yet. And I think that as the market continues to digest this information of what we already know, that inflation is high, the market's reacting in kind. The market is reacting in kind, and that's what's going on. How about we get a pot together for who can pick how low the market will go? Sigh. That's not positivity. That's pessimism. I'm trying to bring some optimism as much as I can to the market. It ain't a lot, but I'm pushing. I'm pushing a little bit. All right, and something? Maybe this is good. Maybe with me being the real part of it, is not telling you what you want to hear, but telling you what you need to hear. I'm a big fan of that. All right, I'm a big fan of that. All right, so that's what's going on in the market, and the market's feeling it. Let's get back into here. Let's go to the viewers tab. Let's go to my watch list for today, 512. Not looking at a lot of stocks today. Not a lot of good stocks that I can look at today. But for tracking the market, we look at the S&P 500 and we look at the VectorVest composite. Let's do a right click, view the stock graph. Let's bring up a 3-month view of what's going on in the market. For the S&P 500, 3-month view. That's it. How about today? We're at a new 3-month low. A lot of wick at the top of today's candle. All right. And more selling pressure. We're not far off of the lows for the day. Sonny says, Glenn, your smiling face always brings optimism. I like that. Maria says, my favorite reality show in town. Listen, Kenneth says, Glenn, not baloney here. This is reality. All right. So, and VP says, well, if we get the pot together, maybe then someone will win. I think that in the long run, if you listen to my daily color guard report last night on the software, all I said is got to be patient. And sometimes being patient sucks, especially if you watch your portfolios go down in value. I love the idea that Jim just talked about. On those longer term trades or positions that you're trying to hold for retirement, this is a great time to learn to put covered calls on them. This is a great time. And then I think that you will see in a very quick fashion that your portfolios won't be going down nearly as fast as they are. I'm telling you, you need to go take a look at that webcast from going on next week. I remember that line from The Mummy, says Alex. Which line, Alex? Sigh. Oh, that patience is a virtue, and it is. Glenn, where's the next long-term support for the spider? Let's go take a look at it. Let's put this on a one-year graph. Well, look at that. The spiders right now, Carl, the spiders right now are at a one-year low. Let's go put this on a 5-year, but I'm going to put this onto an end-of-day 5-year. Where's my next level? I got a level right about, let me go right about here. What the heck? Where's my horizontal line? Right about here. Come on, move. Right about here. Let me take this one off. Delete that one. How do I delete it? Delete it. Why is it doing this? Delete. I got a level of next support sitting at about 359.41. 359.41. All right, that's my next near-term level of support on the S&P. All right, let's do the same thing with the VectorVest composite, which tracks the move over 9,000 stocks. I'm still on a 5-year graph. Oof. Look at this. All these levels of support we had up here just keeps going back through. I shouldn't have taken that one off. Let's go draw me a new line right about here, about 52.50-ish. That's my next level of support on the VectorVest composite. We're at 53.40. We're about a buck away. And folks, this is a 5-year graph. I know a couple of people are heading over the Jerry swing trade. If you guys go. I hate that we have them both going on at the same time, but it is what it is. All right, but there's the market right now, folks. That's it. So on both the S&P and on the VVC, I've given you some levels of support to look for. And can it go even further down than that? Yeah, it can. It actually can still go further down than that. All right. So let me tell you the upside to this. With our levels of the MTI and the buy to sell ratio, I'm not gonna have it on here. We are looking for a bottom. And those levels are getting lower and lower and more overextended. I will tell you this, that when this market rebounds, it's going to rebound with the force of a rubber band being pulled. It's going to shoot up quick. It's going to shoot up nicely. And if you want the opportunity to know when that happens, a lot of that is going to be right here on our homepage if you're a subscriber. You'll watch these indicators as they move. We will give you the guidance in the software in our views tab. We'll give you the guidance and tell you what's going on a day-over-day basis. For those of you who are not subscribers to the VectorVest software, 99 cents gets you access to know when the market is going to bottom. And for anybody who doesn't believe that, I did it yesterday. You saw me do it yesterday. I showed you how we have the ability to tell you when the market's about to bottom. That's it in a nutshell, folks. All right. So let's get back to my news articles and let's talk about what else is going on in the market. It wasn't easy to find you stuff today for what's moving. All right. You know that this is Trending Thursday, and there's not a lot to go with what's trending in the market right now. Miss McClintock says it was excellent yesterday. Go watch the recording for those of you who didn't. By the way, if you're brand new to the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon, so you'll be alerted to when new content like this comes out. And if you like the commentary that's going on so far, don't forget to hit the like button. But subscribe to the channel, and I always invite you at the beginning of each one of these presentations to share the link to this live stream. Let's get other people in here to help them and let them know what's going on in the market and how to best take advantage of it. Will I show the Bahamas portfolio at the end of the day? Monica, I will. Monica, I will. I haven't looked at it. Nobody's asked for me, but we'll take a look at it. It's automated. Both of the Bahamas portfolios are automated, so we're going to see what they're doing. Absolutely, Monica. We will. Thank you for reminding me. All right. What's on my mind? Well, I still like EVs, folks. There's a lot of news out there about electric vehicles. So let me ask this question. A lot of people feel that electric vehicles are not the place to be because these cars are too expensive. How many of you feel that they are becoming more, not user-friendly, more affordable? All right? That electric vehicles have come enough of a way that the big money is getting into it. How many of you feel that they're becoming more affordable? Type of 1. If you still feel that they're way out of your range of buying, type of 2. All right. How many of you feel that the electric vehicles are becoming more affordable? That was a big bone of contention for a lot of people. Now, the people who are typing 2, what I really want you to do is go peep out a lot of the companies out there. And 2 different questions. That's why there's 2 different answers, Roger. And that's why there's a 1 and a 2. If you do your homework, there's electric vehicles out there for $40,000 and even less. They're out there. Now, do they have the same range as the higher dollar cars? No, they don't. But from the perspective of getting people into these cars, for everyone who's typing a 2, I need you to go do your homework. They are out there at a lot less, not a lot, but less prices than you think. All right. So the beaten up shares of several electric vehicle startups traded sharply higher on Thursday, which is today. Rivian Automotive, Lordstown, and other EV automakers saw their stocks surge. Many of the EV names making the biggest moves on Thursdays are former meme stocks. All right. Now, this is another interesting story. I couldn't find this stock, though. StoreDot completes live demonstration showcasing extreme fast charging battery technology capable of delivering 100 miles in 5 minutes. This is a company, I believe, in Israel. Test show, StoreDot, StoreDot's technology will deliver 100 miles in 5 minutes by 2024, 100 miles in 3 minutes by 2028, and 100 miles in 2 minutes within a decade. Bill says Prius plug-in hybrid, 25-mile range. Well, understand that that's electric and gas. There's a difference between the hybrids and the full electrics. What about the infrastructure? Richard, the infrastructure is being built. I did a story on the charging stations on our YouTube channel, and that the money is actually finally going out to the states from the infrastructure bill to build the infrastructure. So the infrastructure is coming along. The infrastructure is in the process of being built now. Check out the video. I think it was done about a month ago. Check out the video, and the states are deploying the funds to get the charging stations in each, and it's breaking down by each state being able to do so. Where are we going to get the money to create the infrastructure to charge them? Generation, capacity, big issues. So, Roger, the money for the infrastructure is already out there. The infrastructure bill is already law, and it's out there. The money is there. Now, how that money gets spent and when it gets spent is another whole thing. The money is there. The money for the infrastructure for the EVs is there. All right, so I'm putting that out there. Tesla today, problem with production in Shanghai. I got a story on that, Kenneth. I got a story. Drew says infrastructure is years to a decade away, but it's coming along. I'm not saying that it's the be all right now, but what I'm trying to get you in on from an EV perspective Everybody wants to buy low and sell high. I'm getting you and telling you that this stuff is ramping up. Now, talking about Tesla, the China exports first batch of electric cars since resuming vehicle production. So there you go. In regards to the China thing, it's back open and they're starting to export the cars. Not only is it China, but they got a gigafactory in Texas. They're still building a gigafactory and all that kind of stuff. So Tesla is well suited to get the inventory out there. If you want to drive on vacation, do you pull over and charge for hours? And you know something, that is also the downside. And if the infrastructure is going well or going according to what they say it is, it's going to take some time. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It will take some time. And I understand that as I feel about this industry, I'm still looking at it in its infancy as compared to Tesla. I think Tesla is way ahead of everybody. Everybody's chasing Tesla. But I still think that it's in its infancy, and these are opportunities to take advantage of some of these EVs. All I'm saying out there, right? And this whole idea with this company in Israel about being able to include the technology to restore those batteries quicker is going to come out of the woodwork as well. I will not charge a lithium battery at my home garage. And David, okay, I totally hear you. All right. And I know that there's still a lot of people who are against this or don't feel good about this. I totally understand that. And I'm not holding that against you in any way, shape, form, or fashion. I'm just letting you know from a news perspective, it's getting out there. Not only that, the big car manufacturers are getting on board with it. That tells you something too. They are. All right. So I don't know what else I can tell you. If you're dead set against it, that's fine. And I'm not berating anybody or any of that. That's not fair. All right. That's not fair. Coal will remain expensive to make electricity for EVs. Coal is still where we get the majority of our electricity from. All right. And I don't think that changes any way, shape, form, anytime soon. And think about it. When you go to charge up your car, you still need the energy or the electricity that's produced by coal to charge up your cars, unless you start getting into solar and you start getting into wind power. But those are stories for another time as well. I'll wait until they put a charge station in every gas station. Maria, we may not be that far from that. How about now when you go to a hotel, they're there. You go to the airport, they're there. They're becoming more prevalent. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's becoming more prevalent. Sonny says coal for green EV. I know, that's a little dichotomy. That's an oxymoron of sorts, isn't it? It really is. All right. My other story in here, all electric car sales increased 60% to almost 160,000 cars in Q1 of 2022. For those of you who feel that, there's a lot left to be desired for this, that we're, a long ways away, the demand is there, folks. All right. The demand is there. You can't fight the tape. The demand is there. So I'm just trying to help you along the way. Michael, you asked me to look at EGY yesterday. I can't understand being down, which beat on earnings and been in business since 1995. You notice that when a stock beats earnings, what normally makes the stock's price go down? I'm not going to look at it. What makes the stock's price go down? It's the forward guidance. Michael, get the whole story. All right. You can't understand being down, which beat on earnings. Check their forward guidance. What was the forward guidance, Michael? That's the better answer to your question. What was the forward guidance? All right. Did they beat on revenues? But what was the forward guidance? Google Maps is also starting to show charging stations too. It's out there. All right. What is the cost of charging an EV? Dirt cheap compared to gas. I did a story on it that showed how much it costs on the maintenance of an electric vehicle compared to a combustion vehicle. The video is out there, folks. The video is out there. I did that. What is the cost of maintaining an electric vehicle compared to a combustion vehicle? I wonder how many times this debate will be had every time there's new technology. In the 90s, everybody thought smartphones were stupid because we already had computers and laptops. Listen, again, my commentary on EVs is not designed to change any of your minds. My commentary is designed to at least get you thinking about it, and thinking about it from the perspective of having some of these stocks in your portfolios to grow your portfolios. How much are the replacement batteries? In upwards of 20 grand or more. But you know, Richard, not many cars are replacing their batteries, and the batteries are covered for 10 years, 100,000 miles. If your battery goes down within that warranty time period, it costs you nothing to replace the batteries. So that's another thing that comes up. My video talks about that as well. A lot of people say, well, the cost is expensive. The cost is super expensive. But they're warranted for 100,000 miles of 10 years. If it goes down in that time period, it costs you nothing to replace the batteries. Ms. McClintock says charging stations are showing up in rest areas in California. Folks, the infrastructure is being built. Sandy, getting rid of the old batteries is horrible for the environment. I got a video out on, actually I don't. I will be putting out a video on it. It's not as bad as you think in the ways that people are disposing of the batteries. There's a good way and a bad way. There's a good way to dispose them where it's not nearly as horrible for the environment. I'm going to have a video on that. Drew says, we have more nuclear plants being closed and no plans to replace them. I did a video on that too for uranium. We got some power plants or reactors in the fray to be made. So no, that's not the case. Joey, do you remember how much I said it was, how many were in line to be built in the U.S.? Do you remember? So Drew, that's not correct.
Like 12 or something?
It was 12 or 13 in the U.S. that are plans to be built. So no, I'm not going with that, Drew. Unfortunately, I got a video on that. All right, I got a video on that as well. All right, so that's my stuff on EVs. Again, not designed to change your minds, but it is designed to help you to get to thinking about what's going on. I'm going to go, let's go up. Clean EVs, clean energy EVs. And here we are. I got a watch list of those, about 34 stocks. The majority of them are sells. It's the truth, but they're starting to move. That's all I want you to do is just keep your eyes on it. Hydrogen fuel cells solves a lot of problems, good and green also. I think that they're trying to make sure that it don't blow up like the hydrogen bomb. I have not done a video on that. I've seen that, but I want to get more information before I put out a video on hydrogen fuel cells. All right. Sandy says, so I got 300 miles and I stop at Motel 6. Where is a car being charged so I can leave on another 300 miles tomorrow? Listen, did I say that this was all perfect? No. Did I say that the infrastructure was being built? Yes. Will I say that it will be getting better as time goes along? Yes. So again, there's many of you whose minds I won't change, and I'm okay with that. I'm just putting that out there. What I want to know is where we are going to get the electricity to charge all these EVs they want us to drive. And the dichotomy, the oxymoron is it's still going to be from coal. Okay. All right. Had to drink some water. All right. Let's get back to my other watch list. Let's go back to the watch list viewer. Let's get back to my trending Thursday watch list, and let's go to my next story. All right, so EVs was something that was on my mind that I wanted to talk about, and they just started moving up today. Chris says EV is the way of the future. You can either profit from it or miss it. Listen, I'm just putting it out there. You guys will either like it or you won't. For the ones that bring to the table the reasons why you don't like it, I'm okay with that. I'm definitely okay with that. All right, next one. My next is on apparel stocks. So what I did for today's trend, I did a 1-day delta on RT on what sectors were moving. So on a 1-day delta, apparel stock started to move. I've got a stock in that space, OXM. Stock sinks as the market gains, what you should know. And it was interesting. Heading into today, what date was this on? It was 2 days ago. Heading into today, shares of the owner of the Tommy Bahama, Lily, blah, 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 all those outpacing the consumer discretionary sector loss of 17%, the S&P loss of 11% in that time. Oxford Industries will be looking to display strength as it nears its next earnings release. The company is expected to do better on both EPS and on revenues. So let's go look at that stock and other stocks in that space. Oxford was one stock in that space. What other ones in here? I got Shoe. Look at that, Steve Madden Shoe, Crocs, and I had just those three stocks. Look at where they sit in my list of stocks today. Crocs and Steve Madden towards the top, OXM right about in the middle. All of these, 1, 2, 3, all have upside potentials greater than 1, relative values above 1. The safeties are not there, so it makes them more of an aggressive play. They all have positive earnings. Look at that. And they grow their earnings at a clip of 30% or more. So I like the space, even though because the market's direction is down, these stocks are feeling it. But I like the upside. I like the positive earnings, and I love the positive earnings growth. Would I buy any of these now? No, because they're sell recommendations. But I will do this. Are they setting up? Well, let's go see. Oxford moving down, coming off of a three-month low today, open candle. I would wait on that. Even though the space is moving, man, it was tough today to just find stocks. Steve Madden, new 3-month low today, open candle though. I'd look on big volume though, bigger volume, a lot of selling pressure. Where did it stop? Right at its level of resistance at 38.32, pulled back, but open candle as opposed to the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. Next one, Crocs. I love Crocs as a company. I hate the shoes, but good upside potential. Definitely good upside potential. The safety is not there, but positive earnings growth. This is a company or a space that's moved up within the last day. All I want you to do is keep your eyes on these. Curious says hydrogen fuel cells are EVs without the outrageous batteries and power plant requirements. And again, curious, Joey, write that down. Hydrogen fuel cell video. Let me go take a look at that. I will just, I'll go take a look at that. Roger says Jerome Powell just got confirmed by the Senate for another term. There you go. I don't know if that's going to move the market to the upside or not. All right. But yeah, curious. I'm going to look into that to put that out as a story. I'm going to look into that to put out a story. My Facebook people ain't saying much of nothing. I see you watching, but nobody's talking much on Facebook. All right. So that was one sector that was moving. My next sector that was moving was the home sector. All right. And a stock in here is Whirlpool. Whirlpool, here's a story that came out about 5 days ago. Whirlpool undervalued and a 4% yield. So in this space, and I'm going to do something for you as well as I'm trying to find what sectors are moving, I will talk to you about dividend plays today. This is also a dividend play. All right, so Whirlpool, let's get back into the watch list. What else did I have in the home space besides Whirlpool? I had Whirlpool, I had Tempur-Pedic, the bed people, and I had Hofstra, Hooker Furniture. All right. And these are more towards the bottom of the list, but on a 1-day basis, notice that the stocks are moving because the space is moving. Let's go take a look at their graphs. Let's view the stock graph. All right. Put this on a 3-month graph. Whirlpool, again, open bar. Open bar, a lot of give back because of the market's price movement today. But look at this. Relative timing tells me momentum is picking up on the stock. I've got a bullish divergence between price and RT. That's a positive sign. Keep your eyes on Whirlpool. If the space is up just for today, that's only a 1-day move, and I got that. and just keep your eyes on it. I do like the upside. It's got a relative value of 1.27, positive earnings, and they grow it at a clip of 15% a year. Tempur-Pedic stock has been going down, 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 even as the market is going down. I got a 3-month low. Everybody needs to buy low and sell high. A lot of these stocks are hitting 3-month lows. I like the open candle. I like the relative value. I like the earnings and the earnings growth. Yep, earnings and earnings growth. Again, a stock to keep your eyes on. And last but not least, Hooker Furniture. Prices going down. Another bullish divergence where the momentum of the stock is picking up while the stock is leveling out. These are stocks to keep your eyes on. Wheat looks good. Is wheat needed for baby formula? I don't think so. But wheat, I made a lot of money on that commodity. I did a video on commodities too. Folks, there's a lot of stuff that you guys are talking about in here that we have got videos on this YouTube channel. We don't just do live streams. We do videos as well, folks. Tire says, if the market keeps going down, do you think the Fed would do another 50 to fight inflation? I honestly think that the Fed needs to do 75 basis points to 100 basis points. That's my personal opinion. If you're going to go after inflation, stop kicking the can down the road. Now, when you do that, the market's going to flip a lid. Well, it's already flipping a lid, is it not? Answer me. Is it not already doing that? Yes or no? Is the market not already flipping a lid with the high inflation? Type a 1 in the room. If you think no, then type a 2. It's already flipping a lid. If you're going to effectively go after inflation, folks, just stop pulling the Band-Aid off. Stop pulling the Band-Aid. Rip that son of a gun off. Just do it. What is Hooker Furniture? It's a company that's in the furniture business. That's all I got to tell you. Miss McClintock, don't read more into that than what it is, because Joey's probably in the background laughing. He's like, why is Glenn talking about Hooker Furniture? Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that right there. All right. Knife edge between slowing inflation and triggering a recession. I honestly believe that 110%, Sonny. Do you not think that we're heading for a recession anyway? I'm just putting that out there. Do you not think that we're heading for a recession anyway? The Fed came late to the party, and they're doing the only thing that they can do to combat inflation, which is raise interest rates. Before every recession, it was the product of extreme monetary policy. Well, did we not have extreme monetary policy? Yeah, we did. Had a lot of stimulus. Depends on how far he kicks the can. That's what we're doing now. How do you feel about that? That's what he's doing now, right? And let me close this out. How do you feel about it? Let's go back to the market timing graph. He's doing that now. And everybody's out there going, this sucks. I was there in 2007, 2008 when I could not get my fund manager on the phone. This is why you manage your own money, and that's why you have a tool like VectorVest to help you to do that. I ain't got no fund manager to call. Do I have a 401k? Yeah. But I move that money around depending on what's going on in the market. I've already made defensive moves in my 401k. All right. But I got the VectorVest software to help me to know when I've got to make those kinds of moves. So I've already done that. A lot of you still have people that manage your money. Okay, and that's fine. If that works for you, that's fine. Alex says, but your recession later, right? No next quarter. I'm thinking that we get inflation, that we get a recession towards the end of the year. I think next year is going to be a tough year. I think 2023 is going to be a tough year in the market. Right? So, had a broker, but that's what he did. Made me a broker, says Sonny. I hear you. We definitely are in a recession. Inflation is approximately 20. So Kenneth says we're already in a recession. A lot of people out there say we're in a recession. By the textbook terms, we're not in a recession yet. But you know something? The market's going down like nobody's business since November of 2021. That That's more than correction, folks. So I'm with you, Kenneth, on that. The textbook about it, though, is not, we're not in a recession yet, Kenneth. But I'm with you. Look at that. That's from November 22nd or so of 2021 until now. Yeah, that's more than correction in my opinion. But shouldn't the Fed do something to try to address supply? What can the Fed do to address supply? The Fed can't. The Fed can't do anything to address supply. He could go back to easy money policy for people, build businesses that can address. If you go easy money policy, prices are still going to go up. We're not defeating inflation by doing that. And then what's the other side of that? What is easy money policy? What is easy money policy? To say that instead of cutting the interest rates, we're going to stop. Instead of raising the interest, we're going to stop doing that. You can't do that and effectively go after inflation. The Fed doesn't have anything to combat supply. Supply is jacked up. With China being shut down so long, I wonder when we will see the results of the lack of their production. Quarter 3, and quarter 4. And that's when earnings are going to start being missed by companies. Quarter 3 and quarter 4, and that's going to add more fuel to the recession story. We're still overall, by way of terms of the VectorVest software, we're still in a bull market. Why? Because companies are still beating their earnings expectations. Forward guidance may not be so pretty, but they're making money quarter over quarter. So by the terms in the VectorVest software, we're still in a bull market. We're in a bear run, a big bear run in a bull market. How do we get out of a bull market when companies start missing earnings? The answer to high inflation is high prices. The answer to high inflation is higher prices. Well, that's the product of high inflation, right? Walmart is almost empty just in time for Christmas. Supply is sucky. And again, there's no one in this room that can tell me how the Fed can increase supply. Now, Rick on Facebook says make more things in the USA. Absolutely. But even if we try to do that and they don't have the supplies to do it because they look at other countries to get some supplies, you can't even make it in the USA. I will say this and say this once. All right. And I don't want everybody to run off on a political tangent on this. To help in the oil story, we need to drill more here. We got the oil. We need to drill more here. But there's political reasons why we don't. Whether they're political or not, all I know is the simple answer to getting oil prices down is to drill more. That's all I'm going to say about it. And I don't want this to turn political. I'm putting that out there. Whatever political statements you got, keep them to yourself. I just made a statement. All right. I just made a statement. I'm going to keep it there. All right. Kenneth, I'm not going there. I just made a statement. That was it. All right. I guess all I want to do is have it known that from a market perspective, how I feel about it. From a market perspective, how I feel about it, not a political. All right. So I put that out there. What else? You know what I wanted to do? I love these conversations that we've had for the past couple of sessions on the live stream. I love them. If you really have come here for the past couple of sessions to listen to the conversation, you're getting something out of the conversation, type a 1 in the room. All right. I know that this is sort of going off of the beaten path of how I normally have Trending Thursday, but I love the conversations that we're having because these are conversations that as investors in this tough market, you guys got questions. All right. You guys got questions and you guys want to talk about this and want to be heard about what you think. That's why I've got this platform to be able to do this. All right. And I'm still not the guy that's out there saying, all right, this stock is going to go to the moon. And then I'd rather have the conversations that affect the market, because that's what we're all here for. Trying to make heads or tails of our portfolios and stuff like that. I had some dividend plays that I want to show to you. I'm going to do that real quick. Dividend plays. Where did I put them? Sigh. Where were my dividend plays? Oh, here they are. Coca-Cola, Nucor. Where's Nucor? Nucor, Lowe's, Procter Gamble, and Aflac. From a dividend perspective, I want you to write these stocks down. As a matter of fact, tell you what I'm going to do. Right click. I'm going to make a quick folio of these. We're going to keep our eyes on these. Dividend plays. Dividend plays 5, 12, 22. I'm going to put this into a $10,000 portfolio. No commission. We're going to keep our eyes on these. And I'm going to try to do the best that I can to put all of the dividend payments on these stocks. You guys okay with that? Type of 1. You guys okay with that? And I'm going to keep my eyes on this. All right. Open the portfolio now. All right. It's down. But I want to keep my eyes on, I'm going to keep my eyes on when the dividends come out. We're going to look at this from right now. I told you to keep your eyes on dividend plays. These are dividend aristocrats. These are companies that have paid dividends or grown their dividends for 25 plus years. So as I mentioned, I want you guys to keep your eyes on these stocks. Write them down if you haven't. And I'm going to try to update this portfolio with all of the dividends that come out and when they come out and how much they paid. All right, how do I feel on, I'm not looking at that individually, Michael. All right, you wanted me to look at my other portfolio though, right? My Bahamas trip. Let's go see what it looks like. Good, googly muggly. It's in cash. It's down 8.5%. Sigh. But this only plays the upside of the market. In the downside, when it gets a down call, it goes to cash. Bahamas Trip 2 plays both sides of the market. Look at that. Woo! We going to the Bahamas, baby. Look at that. This is an automated system. This is an automated system. Look at the money we're making on these trades. This is based off a $10,000 portfolio. Look at that, baby. Look at that. Who asked me to bring up the Bahamas Trip portfolio? This is fully automated. Just to let you know, this is using the market timing of the GLBRT. And folks, this is with the market getting its butt kicked. This is with the market getting its butt kicked, and it's up 14%. Who says you can't always make money? Now, this is shorting. This is playing the downside of the market. Look at this. All right. It's using Chappell's Champs. It's using Ballistic's new highs short on the downside. How about that, folks? You wanted me? There you go, Monica. There you go, Monica. And I'm glad that and Joey, when I put this up together, I was like, oh man, I'm setting myself up. This could look like sucky and nobody will ever listen to me. All right. Look at this, Joey, 14%. And we put this on. We've had this on for a little bit more than a month. That's not bad in a little bit more than a month, folks, is it? How about that? I deserve some likes just for that. We put that, and this is going. We put this together here, and it's going. How do I get a portfolio like that? Tom, again, this is an automated system. With the VectorVest software, you go to the Viewers tab. You go to the Trading Systems Viewer. I believe it's this one. Right here, and it walks you through how to set it up. You want to have the ability for the software to show you trading systems that are working over the last 1 month, 3 month, 1 year. We got it right here. All right. Karen says, what about those listed as sells? Do you still, if they're sells, let's go back to the portfolio. If they're sells, we're shorting all of these. These are all short. Sells, buys, and holds. You short all those, but I never short American companies. So Michael, then you know what I would do in this case, in a portfolio like this? Instead of shorting, I'd buy contra ETFs. I would buy contra ETFs. That's how I would get around that. Right? So there's a way, even for people who don't short stocks, to still be able. This is 13% in the time where the market is getting its butt kicked. We're watching it. Sonny says, I love the user group feel of this live stream lately. There you go. All right. So I'm done. Right about 1 hour. I'm done. Joey, bring up my screen. The market's getting its butt kicked. There's no way getting around it. I think that what Jim had to offer today about selling covered calls, especially on the stocks that you own, then you need to go check it out next week. Joey's got the link pinned to the top of the chat. Ann says, what is short? That's selling a stock short, borrowing. You know what I want you to do, Ann? I want you to go to a website called investopedia.com and type that in. It will give you an understanding of what shorting is. Sonny says, I'm so glad we had this time together. Alex on Facebook says, thanks. He says, you're super duper. Thank you, Alex. You're the only one that seems to talk on Facebook. I got 13 people on Facebook. You seem to be the only one that's talking. All right. So Maria says, thank you, nap time. You got it. I love that. How many likes did we get so far today? Did we get my 100 likes at least? No, I got 80 likes. That's all right. Listen, you know me. I always try to push 100 likes every live session. If we get it, we do. If we don't, we don't. My job is to make sure that it was not a waste of your time here. I like that a lot. I don't want it to be a waste of your time because you took the time out of your day to be here. Orange on Facebook says thank you. Curtis on Facebook says thank you. Hamid on Facebook says good talk, Glenn. There you go. I want you guys on Facebook I don't want you guys to be out of the picture. 7. What does that mean? Oh, 7 shares? On Facebook, we had 7 people share it. Way to go, Facebook. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys, for that. I didn't realize that. All right, way to go. I didn't see. Thank you, Joey pointed that out. You guys are awesome. And all I ever ask is if you could share the link. Share the link, man. You could be changing somebody's financial future. You may be the one to help somebody make some money in the market, especially in times like this. How do I post a like, Tom? You got to hit the like button on YouTube. I think it's a little thumbs up. You got to click on that. If it's already white, don't click it again because you'll dislike. Don't do that. You got to click the little thumbs button. Sigh. All right. It's all right. I love you guys to death. I do. And we'll be back on Monday. And for those of you who have subscriptions to the software, I'll talk to you tonight on the Color Guard. DM for Profit says, brother, you changed my life. That is awesome. I love that. That is awesome. No, Roger says, mine's black when I click it. No, you want it to be white. Click it.
Calm down.
Huh?
He's just messing with you.
Oh, stop telling me to calm down. I'm going to come to your house and punch you.
I'm about to throw this big 20-minute rant.
Oh, I don't rant. I don't rant about anything.
I made 4 rant videos of you today.
All right, everybody. I love you guys for sure. I do. Thank you for supporting the channel. Adios, arrivederci, ciao, au revoir, sayonara, aloha to all my peeps in Hawaii. Bom dia, shalom. No, salam, shalom, namaste, yasu. Until next time, folks, see ya.